Hello there, fellow NPCs. I am Scythe, and today we're getting back into Seeds of Chaos. We have just finished one of the main objectives of the games, and now we can do more stuff. As you can see down here to the right, we can choose a job for Alexia, and different things will happen to her depending on where she goes each and every week. And she will change apparently also depending on where she is and who she's interacting with. So that's interesting. But other than that, we haven't really been told what to do yet. So I guess we will see what will happen next. So yeah, let's go. So what I'm thinking first here, I didn't have anything here, nothing here. Let's see, change current research. No, you didn't have anything either. Yes, I'm interested to know what favors with Ysera is. Ooh, it's an event. Rome's lips formed a thin line as he stared at Ysera's wide grin. He did nothing to reassure him. Why so nervous, Rowan? Still concerned about what happened with that drow bitch? There's no reason to be. I must admit my mood has improved quite a bit. In no small parts thanks to you. All that effort you've been putting in, conquering Rosaria, making the castle run like the finest dwarven artifact. You are making me a very happy mistress. So speak your mind. What is it you wanted to ask of me? You should be happy with her words. That goodwill was hard-earned and well-deserved. But he now realized just how fickle it was. One wrong word, and all his efforts would go to waste. But he couldn't just nod and smile. There were things he needed done around the castle, and they required Ysera's approval. Approval she probably wouldn't want to give, but... Any concession from Ysera furthered his own goal. There was only so much good he could do while she sabotaged herself. What? I don't understand. But it can just not as mother. Castle and thing required Ysera's approval. Approval she wouldn't want to give, but there was only so much good he could do while she sabotaged herself. Any concession from Ysera furthered his own goal. I don't understand what any of these two means. That I need to make a save here so that I actually can figure it out. This seems to be playing into what she wants, and this is me focusing on what I want, I think. And what I want is actually better. Ysera was her own worst enemy. The drow woman proved that. He had to convince her to give him more responsibility, if only to run damage control. Okay. He could only hope she wouldn't take it personally. Okay, so what does the other one say then? Ysera had her eyes on everything. If he could force her to back off even a little bit, his further maneuver would expand considerably. He could only hope this wouldn't backfire. I don't understand the differences. So that's unfortunate. I'm going to have to play this for a long time before I see whether or not it's good or bad. That's unfortunate. Ysera was her own worst enemy. The drow woman had proven that. He could only hope she wouldn't take it personally. Empress Ysera. Given my recent accomplishments, I was thinking we would discuss expanding my responsibilities. I have some ideas I think you would be partial to. Really now? Oh. Ysera took a step in his direction, then another. She circled him, studying him carefully. Of all things you could ask for, you desire further duties? Do you not approve, Empress? Oh, I do, but... Well, let's just say I know it's responsibility you want. What does that mean? She touched his shoulder. Oh. Then her hand traveled across his back. She gave a mysterious smile, the kind that always worried him. You want more say in things. You want more power. That's, I suppose you could portray it that way. But I assure you, mistress, my primary motivation is ensuring our long-term success. The more I could do, if you're willing to give There's more I could do, if you're willing to give me a chance. Oh, Rowan, even if it's just because you have something to gain, I do so enjoy you sweet-talking me. How could I ever say no to you literally begging me for the privilege of being a better servant? He tried not to wince, in a way. That was what he was doing here. Very well, whatever requests you have, I will hear them out, but I will judge for myself if there is any merit to them. I believe... Her hand shot forward, grabbing him by the cheeks, silencing him. Her grins never dropped as she leaned in. Do not forget who you're talking to, Rowan. I already granted you significant authority and autonomy. Whatever you ask for, I suspect it will concern matters that exceed your expertise. Things you know so very little about, yet think you should be done your way. But you are not the Lord of Bloodmead. You are not the heir of Karnas, and you have no demon blood in your veins. I will have the final say in everything, and if you know what's good for you, you will not argue. She released his mouth and caressed his cheek affectionately. He swallowed heavily, waiting for her to continue. You might even learn a thing or two. I certainly hope you will. I am not like Daenerys. I have no intention of throwing you away like used goods once this is all over. You can be so much more by my side, Rowan. I hope you know it. That's kind of you to say, mistress. I know. I am ever the benevolent mistress, am I not? Finally she took a step back. Relieved, Rowan took a deeper breath. So the fact that I'm standing here is wrong in the graphics? So, ready to ask for your first favor, Rowan? Ask for magical items. Nothing. Ooh. What kind of magical items can we get here? Empress. It hasn't escaped my attention that between the amulet you presented both me and my wife, and the ring you gave Helena, you appear to have quite a collection of magical items. And if the amulets are anything to go by, some of them are quite powerful. What can I say? I enjoy collecting pretty and useful things. I wanted to discuss what practical applications they might have, and whether or not we should deploy them in Rosaria. I need every edge I can get, mistress. You want a magic sword? After what happened during our second encounter? Yeah. I approve of the audacity, if nothing else. Maybe not a sword then, but I am sure you have something that could be of use. You spoke truly. Gods only knew what Ysera held in reserve, and he'd rather not waste them on torturing people, whatever vanity project Ysera is currently pursuing. Maybe, possibly, but no. Rowan blinked. Ysera looked at her fingernails and repeated herself. Just no. Oh, I have a number of them, that much is true, but I'll decide for myself when and how to make use of them. Besides, you don't need them. You had no holy armor or sword when you fought my father. You always relied on your skills and wit, and look at how far it brought you. That's one way of looking at it? He wondered if he should call her on it, but the wicked smile Ysera wore betrayed she was well aware just how ridiculous that spiel was. Coming from her, she chuckled and shook her head again. You don't need any magical toys, Rowan. I know you can bring Rosaria to its knees with just what you have in your head. You simply need to learn how to apply it properly. I could help you if you want, teach you things no other woman could. What do you have in mind? You're quite familiar with Rosaria flora, no? Did you know that the imp tulip is the main ingredient in 4 different kinds of poison? I'm aware of one, and that is mostly used as sleep medicine. In small doses, of course, it can be used in such a way, but it's far more versatile and deadly too. I do not mean to downplay your expertise or experience as a ranger, Rowan, but you haven't been hanging out with the right people to make full use of the knowledge you have. I will take you for an apprentice and teach you all I know about Rosarian herbs. How does that sound? It would be just the 2 of us, and I must confess, I'm a little excited about the prospect. Her finger trailed the edge of her cleavage. Oy. Trying to tempt his eyes to drop lower, he kept his gaze steady, all too familiar with her tricks. You are my most valuable asset, Rowan, and your development is important to me. You've been doing quite well in Rosaria, but I see you want to do even better. So forget about magical items and simply let me guide you. I promise you won't regret it. I agree, Ysera deserves the benefit of the doubt every now and then, and no, she does not. This could be useful, but try to bargain for more. There's nothing a demon could teach you. Demand something material instead. Oh no! No, don't. Here's the thing. Oh no. I don't wanna get in the clutches of Ysera. That's so mean. She's gonna be so upset if I tell her no. And we would have so many great scenes if we say yes. And we also learn a lot about poisons and herbs in general. Is that something we want? Let's go for the middle ground, I guess. It's been a while since I had a proper tutor. Maybe it's not a bad idea. But there are problems I can't solve with poison and tinctures. I could still benefit from having access to your collection. That really is out of the question, but perhaps I can throw in a little extra. Praise her generosity, that's bound to open her pockets. Offer to share her own expertise on Rosarian herbs. She doesn't... She likes when we praise her and give it sweet talk her, but she also sees through it so easily. And she said that she knows so much more than I do. So that would be the less of two evils, I guess. Sweet talker. Oh yeah! Holy shit, yeah! That was a diplomacy check. I would be most grateful, mistress. Your ongoing support is a welcome change after years of serving under Rosarian nobles. Men rarely see the value of what they have in front of their very eyes. You will learn I'm different. Oh, 200. Oh, fine, I'll throw in some gold. 200 coins. Climbing supplies are no magic, but then the next best thing. So, shall we proceed with your lessons? Even if this wasn't what he was hoping for, there was no point in pushing Ysera when she obviously wouldn't budge. He couldn't risk ruining what little goodwill he just managed to gain here. He signaled for Ysera to lead the way and followed suit. Perhaps this would be worth his time after all. Yeah. Ysera wasted no time. Once they arrived in her room, she brought out a couple of flasks and books from a cupboard nearby and started setting up a small alchemical apparatus. I'm surprised you keep everything on site. I like to work uninterrupted, and where poisons are concerned, it's better to keep out of sight. Hard to argue with that. Soon enough, they got to work. Rowan expected Ysera to tease him relentlessly, but the half-demoness proved committed to their task. She had sit side by side as she explained the variety of herbs and substances he could make use of in Rosaria. Oh shit! 400 XP, goddamn! Some of he knew of, sometimes by a different name. Some were new to him. Others had applications that were completely unknown to him, mostly as poisons. Actually, a lot of what Ysera explained concerned poisons, which in retrospect shouldn't surprise him. Are you trying to turn me into an assassin, Ysera? You know such things aren't my style. Aren't your style? No, I suppose it's not what one would expect from the Rowan Blackwell, here at the Six Realms. Famed for his ability to sneak in and out of a siege castle, known by all goblins as a great trickster, and notoriously advocating for putting it practically over a knightly honor. Face it, Rowan, you're a dark cloak and a lack of morals away from being one. I'm just filling in gaps in your education in case you ever change your mind. Then you aren't planning on sending me on some secret mission to murder our enemies in the dark. Oh, no. Well, maybe sometimes. I'm not particularly picky over how you kill our enemies. She chuckled, an evil glint in her eyes. They said that no knowledge was inherently evil, but what Ysera taught him... She was right, it could be useful in the future. Would be helpful for antidotes as well, so he gritted his teeth and bear with it. What's difficult to focus on is Ysera so damn close to him. Antidotes it is! He listened closely to Ysera's explanations, and tried to ignore the little stories of how she personally witnessed the effects of a given poison, and how hilarious it was to see a man puke his guts out, simply because he insulted her dress. He was starting to regret agreeing to any of this. Good. Yes, that is correct. I think we've gone through most of the really important things. You're an excellent student, Rowan. You're a good teacher, mistress. That's all. It was late evening when Ysera finally decided it was enough. Rowan sighed, but noticed she wasn't putting away the tools on her table. Now, if you have time, there's a little something I wanted to show you before we move on. Think of it as a reward for applying yourself. She reached to her drawers, the one at the bottom. It was locked by a small key that Ysera procured seemingly out of nowhere. She opened and took out a large flask with some strange purple fluid inside. I spoke a lot about poisons, but there's another weapon in my arsenal you can make use of. This, my cute student, is Immoraltis, a powerful aphrodisiac, among other things. Oh, the very thing you dropped in the fire grout, huh? Not asking him for his permission, she suddenly plucked a strand of his hair off his head. Rowan hissed and glared back. Relax, I just need something male as the final ingredient. I could have pricked you, but people always get so squeamish when you try to add their blood to a potion. I wonder why. She put the hair inside and started to gently stir the poison. The surface bubbled, and the purple liquid took an even darker shade, then started to shine. Rowan leaned back just a little. We focused on poisons today, since in the field that's what you're most likely to make use of. But there is something you could help me with. So, a word about Immoraltis. The ingredients of it are quite rare, the process of brewing is quite lengthy, and it requires magic to acquire its properties. But the effect... Unlike most aphrodisiacs, Immoraltis can trigger lasting mental and biological effects. Oh, biological effects? I'm not sure I like the sound of that. So critical already. To put it simply, if the user is fed the right kind of stimuli not long after drinking it, they will come to crave it, need it, and getting it will grow even more rewarding to them. Huh. Is that sort of what happened to Helena? Sort of? So it's more of a drug and a curse than an aphrodisiac. A brainwashing potion. Such a strong term! Rowan, please, it's not nearly as versatile as that. Immoraltis is best employed in making people more sexually liberated and creative in pursuit of pleasure. I'm sure Nassim can explain the fine details if you care to ask him. I'm more concerned with the effect, and how it can be used in helping people reach their full potential. Ysera rang a small bell that resided on her table. The door to her room opened, and in came a woman dressed in a maid's uniform. She was tall and graced with elegant beauty, with high cheekbones and long dark hair that contrasted greatly with her milky white skin. She had to be in her late 30s, but her age added a hint of refinement to her face, highlighted further by her conservative uniform. Rowan thought she seemed familiar. It wasn't the only one. When their eyes met, the woman's eyes widened. As she quickly looked away, she bowed deeply before the castle mistress. Mistress Ysera? Madeline, you know Rowan Blackwell? Of course, Master Blackwell. She bowed before him, and finally he remembered. You were Helena's handmaiden, Madeline Mossett. She shivered and said nothing. By his side Ysera giggled. It's just Madeline. She was stripped of her family name after it was discovered her brother had dealings with demons almost 10 years ago. I'm surprised you even know the family name. It was struck from all records. Helena mentioned it. She always thought her your brother's sins were not yours. Lady Reeve has been very kind to me in the past. Despite the high praise, her voice remained reserved, as if she didn't really mean what she said. For her to be here. Helena is no longer her mistress. Miss Madeline now serves me, and she expressed a desire to take on further responsibilities. The vile potion danced in her fingers. Rowan looked to it, then to the other woman. Her expression betrayed nothing. You want her to drink the potion? It's her own idea. Tell him, Madeline. Master Rowan, There was a long pause. A grimace went past her lips, and her face twisted as if recalling something unpleasant. When she continued, her voice was hoarse. I was blessed with my mother's look, something my father always thought I should make use of. But even though I understand the value of my body, I never found much pleasure in it, as some of my peers did. Oh. Neither in men nor in women. She is an asexual. They just never capture my interest. The priest thought it was a sure sign I should take the cloth, but after my brother's indiscretion came to light, that was no longer an option. I became a pariah, shunned by many. My looks were a blessing at first, then a curse. My dislike for romance was a curse at first, then a blessing. Now the situation is reversed again. I wish to put an end to this, on my terms. I will no longer be denied what I will always should have been mine, and Mistress Ysera promised to help. Because by doing so, you become more useful to her. We're all tools in someone's hands. Her voice was cold, and she spoke slowly. It was not a decision she made lightly, that much was clear. Okay, so she's not scared, she is firm. But it seemed Ysera understood nothing of her sacrifice, as she sauntered to her, swaying her hips from side to side. She touched the maid's hair, so carefully groomed, and nodded in approval. She then looked at Rowan, eyes sparkling. Oh, Rowan, do not think me the villain in all of this. Immoralities will help rewire Madeline's mind and body to be more in tune with desire we all agree are perfectly natural. For the first time in her life, she'll understand what pleasure means. And I want you to introduce her to it. He was halfway through another protest when her words registered. Ysera's hands went to the laces on Madeline's dress, and she started to undo them. Which means I will be seeing you guys real soon. Interesting. So I think I fumbled that quite a bit. But there was some things that Ysera said during all that made me think that I can't go further with this. I have to stop this sort of thing. And I think that is where I fumbled, honestly. It's really difficult. Because I want the cool stuff, but I only get one chance at this as well, so I don't want to ruin it, ruin my gameplay for the sake of this sexy scenes. It is kind of gut-wrenching, honestly. But yeah, if you want to see that, you have to go over to SpicyGaming.net. Once I can upload videos again, the website is back up. But once I can upload videos again, that's when you can get to see this as well. But for now, let's continue. He could only hope his introduction into the world of carnal pleasure ended up more pleasant than what Ysera would arrange for her. Yeah, exactly. That was very interesting. What do happen now? Spend favor. We can't do it again, can we? I'm not willing to do that because I only have a few minutes left here. Can we do anything with Nassim? Please, no. No, good. Back off. Do you have anything to... Can I buy something from you now? Anything of usefulness? Nope, nothing interesting. We still don't know what the next mission is. So that means choose a job. Domestic work, help out the other cast of staff who directly answer to Ysera. Research assistant, help Cleona's research staff in the library. That is a very pretty get-up. Barmaid. Work as a barmaid under Indara at the tavern in the Rakshan Wastes. Work as a cleaner and handler in the breeding pits. We don't have that yet. So, everything else we could do in Forehand. Assist Greyhound with weapon and armor smithing. But this looks so very pretty. I really like this one. And hopefully it's not very long. Current position, nothing. Okay, yeah. Let's help Cleona out. Oh, okay, I can't change anything. Okay, I thought we were getting something going on right now. I see. Then, can we do something? No, I wanted to talk to Cleona. Nothing here. Okay. Everything else can wait for now. So we can walk up here and see what's going on over here, I guess. Library orientation. Oh! Right! Now it happens. Okay, I see. Alexia waited for a moment to be dressed after arriving in the library. When it seemed that none was forthcoming, she cleared her throat awkwardly. Oh, excuse me? The librarian let out a weary sigh and stopped ignoring the woman. Yes, Alexia, why is it you're bothering me? I was wondering if there was anything I could do to help you out here in the library. Well then, what scale are we speaking of here? Something to keep you occupied for an hour, until lunch, the whole day. The week, actually. I want to make you myself useful, and Rowan suggested that the library would be the place to go. You certainly have shown a bit more interest in the realm of knowledge and literature than my employers have sadly lacked. There are some tasks that I can set you that will save me time and help things run more efficiently here. Very well, I will accept your assistance for the time being, and we shall see how you perform. Ah, look at that! And she even has a thing. After getting settled, Alexia spent most of the week in the library as Cleona's assistant. She catalogued books, retrieved them, returned them, and aided with basic experiments when Cleona trusted she was up to the task. That will be all for the day. I must say that you have proven to be quite capable of the task I have assigned you. I will welcome your aid again when you are available. Thank you, Sorceress. Working in the library was quite pleasant, and I would be happy to help you again. Alexia, library encounter. Counter? Okay. Yeah, up here. Oh, there's a village up here. And a farm over here. But we don't like the farms because they never have anything useful. Oh, here's a village of some sort. But I want to go over here and see what we got here. Where's the quickest way? 2 movements and 2 movements. Okay, they're both. Oh, Drider Nest. Yeah, we're not going to that just yet. A Dragon's Path, 100 XP. By the time Rowan arrived, pillars of smoke were already rising over the hills. The maps had said that there would be a village here. Perhaps if he had arrived sooner there might have been. The town was a mix of burned out houses, destroyed roads and ash. Ash everywhere. He walked through the husks of the buildings, but never found another living soul. If anyone had survived this, they wouldn't have stayed around. At first he had assumed it was a band of Orcish raiders, but then he started finding valuables in the houses. Swords, valuable silks, fine ivory. No one had looted this place. It hadn't been orcs. What had happened here? It was better not to think much on the matter. The people were already dead. There was nothing he could do for them. He sent men in to free the ruined homes of the valuables. But he also signed to grumbling orcs to bring the shard bodies together for proper burial. It would be some weeks before the mystery of the village would be resolved. Rumors swirled that a dragon from the southern mountains had ventured up into the Rosarian Valley on an excursion. End of week 22. Really? That's all I get? Okay, sure. I was planning on ending this episode anyway, so that works perfectly fine for me. So yeah. I am very interested to see what else we can do, because we barely got to do anything. Everything this episode was all about how we can earn favor from Ysera. We'll see how that goes, if that was of any use. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you Joseph for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. If you guys want to help me out, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember, just because you're not the main character, it does not mean you're not important. Goodbye everyone.